Alright guys, welcome to step 2 of day 2 of the Sourdough 101 course, Autolyse, which is a period of mixing and then resting your dough for anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. We're going to go with a 2-hour resting period today. Right now, what we're getting ready to do is we're going to mix our flours with our filtered water. So you'll see me using this King Arthur bread flour, and later on you'll see me using the Janie's Mill Artisan Blend flour as my whole wheat flour of choice. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and add my Janie's Mill whole wheat flour. You always want to be careful when you're pouring things directly into the mixing bowl, because you could accidentally add a little too much, as I did here. Okay, in between each thing that I'm measuring here, I am tearing my scale, which again just means clearing that number and starting over from 0 each time. Here I am adding my filtered water, and the water again should be at lowest room temperature. Ideal would be somewhere between like 80 to 90 degrees. My starter personally likes to have sort of a warmer temperature. I can get away with keeping it kind of in that 90-degree range. That's around the temperature that my oven is with the light on. Okay, here I am beginning the mixing process. So as you can see, we are into the second big phase of this sourdough making process. Our first big phase being the levain, trying to get your starter in a good place so that you can use it for your bread. Here we are in the mixing phase. So this Autolyse process is the first big mix that we have. During this mix, we're just trying to combine all of the flour and the water together. It's kind of a similar thing that you went for when you were combining your flours for your starter. You just want to make sure everything is pretty thoroughly combined and that you're not seeing a lot of loose flour or dry flour or bits kind of on their own. We're not really trying to build a lot of strength here. We're just trying to get our flours fully saturated and allow them time to hydrate before we then add in our levain. Here you can see that I switched over to a bowl scraper, and this is a plastic bowl scraper that's kind of rounded on one end and flat on the other. And I find this to be one of my most handy scrapers because you can use it well on a flat surface, and you can also use it really well in a bowl. So if the only kind of bench scraper you're working with right now is just that metal bench scraper, you might want to consider grabbing yourself one of these bowl scrapers as well. It keeps the mixing process a little less messy. As you can see, I'm kind of rotating the bowl as I am grabbing the dough from underneath and pulling it up above. And I'm kind of doing this gesture because it just makes it a little bit easier to get to all the corners of the dough. And it kind of hints at one of our next big steps, which will be the stretch and folds. Okay, what you can see here is the final Autolyse mixture. It should be sort of lumpy looking. It should be, kind of shaggy. You're not looking for a smooth dough. But again, we're not looking to really build a lot of structure here. We're just looking to get everything fully incorporated. Once our ingredients are well combined, we're going to let this dough rest in our warm, comfy place for about 2 hours. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover this bowl with plastic. So you want to keep your dough covered with either a damp towel or plastic so that we can keep air from getting in there and drying it out. Okay, so that is it for the Autolyse step. I'll see you in a couple hours for step 3.